What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at some David Corenswet, some David Corenswet Superman figures. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we're taking a look at some David Corenswet Superman figures. Taking a look at the packaging, of course we do have the gold label here, which is your battle damaged Superman, and then the theatrical deluxe figure. I know that there's another one in between here, right? There is a standard release of this Superman, but this deluxe one is essentially the same figure, just missing some things, right? So if I'm going to get one, I'm going to go deluxe on this because you do get crypto and you do get some face swaps, and that's where I called it on that one. Let's take a look at the package. I will focus on the deluxe theatrical edition, right? That box is a little bit different than your standard one, which the gold label is in. Looking at this though, you can see Superman there, you see your face swaps, extra hands, crypto's there, you have a card in the back. Now instead of a flight stand, you just get the basic black disc stand. I would think if this is a quote deluxe figure that flight stand would be included in this, but it is not. DC Multiverse, there is your Superman movie logo, Superman and crypto, deluxe theatrical edition down the side there. Flip it to the side, you get this DC Studios logo at the top, and then this very cool Superman logo with the Superman just in the design there, right? I dig that a lot. That's a cool touch. Flip it to the back. There is an expanded image of what is going to be your card, right? It's an animated version of these two, but you can see Superman and Crypto in the Fortress of Solitude. Pretty cool there. Superman and Crypto at the top there. Flip it to this side, you get your standard sort of fare here. DC Multiverse, Superman and Crypto, Superman logo at the bottom. Shifting gears here, we'll go over to this battle damaged version. So this is the gold label figure, so it will be your exclusive. Again, there is a standard version of this, which is just going to be a slimmed down version of the deluxe as far as what it contains, not the figure itself. Figure there, card in the back, extra hands, disc stand in the back, DC Multiverse, Superman logo, Superman battle damage down there. At the top you do get that movie logo as well. Flip it to this side, Superman movie logo, Superman, McFarlane toys down at the bottom. Flip it to the back, a sort of animated version of the card that we'll see and the character, right? So instead of using movie images on both of these, they went for animated style versions. Interesting call. Maybe they weren't allowed to use pictures of the film. Flip it to this side, DC Multiverse, Superman, McFarlane toys there. But let's get them out of the box. Fresh out of the box, I will say this figure was more of a pain to get standing than typical. Usually I don't even use these stands during these reviews, right? Because I like to just get it on there, see how it works, make it stand on its own, and go through it that way. I don't know, maybe if the legs are a little bit off, that, I mean, is certainly something that could be the case. They weren't super stiff or anything, so just a point to note, right? Other than that, I mean, pretty standard offering for a regular release figure, right? You've got Superman, he's got a plastic cape, he's got the extra set of hands, your stand down there. There is your card, which does match your box art there. So, you know what you're getting with these. Let's take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at the head sculpt here. It seems pretty decent, right? This figure is the battle damaged one, so essentially looks like, they just did some brushing over to get that wash on there with the dirt, essentially, is basically what it looks like we've got going on here, right? Body-wise, I mean, look, the movie's not out, right? We're going off of the trailers, images we've seen, so I feel like it does look pretty decent. The S certainly captures what it's meant to be. The shorts cut is as well. Cape comes off fairly decent, right? So you will notice that they don't get the wash onto the back there. That does stand out. That is slightly annoying, but that's fine. I'm not looking there anyway. So front on, it's going to look like a battle damaged version of Superman, right? You do get some good line work in here, some decent design and texture for the figure, right? So you can see all these sculpted lines in here, the texture in the costume itself. So it does lend itself to some really nice depth to the figure. Again, I mean, going off of what we know, right? As far as it stands, a solid representation. Now, I am hoping that I really enjoy the movie and this all makes sense one day, but so far, so good. For your hands, you do get an open hand, a closed fist, and a set of flared hands. As far as the articulation goes, head will look down to there, chin kind of touching the neck, looks up to there, so you're not getting good arch backwards. You do get a little bit of movement in there and some side to side, a little bit of rock as well. Arms do work all the way around. You're not on that butterfly at all, so you do have that slight limitation for the arms, but you do get that upper bicep cut. You are pinned at your elbows with that double joint. Nothing at your forearm, your ball hinge at the wrist. Come to the torso, you do get that upper and lower piece here. Diaper is a little bit large. You can see some gapping in there when you move it to the front. Leg will kick up and out to there, back to there, out to there. Nothing at your thigh, double jointed, pinned at the knee. Nothing at your boot, ball and hinge at the ankle there. Of course, you do have your toe hinge as well. You'll also notice that these boots kind of just naturally sit with a slight curvature as well. Moving over to Superman and Krypto, we're fresh out of the box here. Obviously, you can see I'm not using the stand here, so this Superman did stand with no issue. So even though it is the same buck, a different problem, I suppose. You do get the face plates here, which gives you that good swappable option. Same hand options, right? So you've got that open hand, the fist, and the two flared out hands. I get it, right? They're using the same stuff. Reuse, 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 blah, blah, blah. You have the cape here, which is wired, so that is a nice touch, right? This is the deluxe. Probably what I would like to see with this, as I've already mentioned, is the flight stand as opposed to the black disc stand, and it is just your basic one, right? It's not even one of those slightly fancier ones that has a different logo. You know what I'm talking about. And then of course you do get your card, which does match your box art there. So again, I am curious as to why they went with this animated style. If you know, let me know. I'm curious. I'd like to be informed on that. Or maybe it was just a choice and that's all that is. Let's take a closer look. First up, we'll take a look at Krypto, right? Because he's a good boy. You know, we all want to know what's going on with Krypto here. He does have a soft goods cape, no wire. I understand. It's a small cape. That would be pretty insane if they did put that wire in there, but it would be a cool touch. I am saying. Looks good, right? He's got the good big floppy ear. Krypto's having a good time. There's not a lot you need to do with this, right? It's going to be on the shelf. It's going to be that representation. I'm feeling it. I'm here for it. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at this figure without the battle damage, right? See what it's meant to be. And if you are getting that standard release version, it will have the plastic cape, but the body and overall aesthetic will match this one much closer, right? Same face sculpt, aside from having the face plates that you can swap out. I do think this is a good likeness, right? I'm not super familiar with the actor, and I kind of like that, right? There's a lot of history with Superman films and kind of picking a guy like that. So I have no issues with it. We're not here to talk about the movie. We'll do that another day, but I do think this is a fairly decent likeness, right? There, moving to the body, you can see the design throughout the suit with the molded in lines, the texture to the suit, bright S there, good color scheme. I am loving the choice for this costume. I am. I'm just saying. I'll skip over the articulation because that will be the same, but let's highlight the cape, right? So you do get the S on the cape. You do have a wired cape, so that does give you more options, more displayability. The faceplates are a pretty simple pop and swap. You'll just pop it out. When you're putting the other one back in, you'll want to be mindful of the curl though. They are going to just sort of slide under and over in order to get that faceplate on. You do have a few options. Your first one, not too different from the faceplate that comes on, just a slightly more stern brow to go with that first swap. The next one, also not very different. So here's your first faceplate. This is the third one now. Here is the second one with the stern brow. It seems like it wasn't necessary to go that far. Maybe include a different option. And then we do get the heat vision faceplate, but he's got kind of a smirk on him, right? I'd prefer to see an angry face or like no expression at all. This is a little too coy. Maybe he's slightly happy that this heat vision's coming on. I don't know. I think for me, I'm going with the stern brow version. This also would have lent itself better to the heat vision. Just a thought. For comparison, here he is with our Christopher Reeve and one of our Henry Cavill Superman figures. Still waiting on that Brandon Routh though, Todd. Still waiting. But this gives you an idea of how some of your cinematic Superman McFarlane figures might look together, and you may ask why I have this suit as opposed to the more traditional blue and red suit. Well, kids, that one is in a box somewhere, unopened, not on display. So there you go. But just to give you some point of reference, right, heights are fairly similar, so I guess I like that consistency. I'd have to look and see if that's accurate to the individual actors. I assume no, right? It seems safe to err on the side of caution there. But again, depending on what you're doing in your display, I think it's cool that we have these options. Again, just waiting on that Brandon Routh, Todd. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. There is your battle-damaged David Corenswet Superman, along with your deluxe theatrical edition Superman, right? So you've got a few options out there. You're even getting a Ross exclusive, which the jokes just make themselves at this point. Either way, you got some options if you're waiting on this figure, right? I totally understand that, right? We haven't seen this movie. We don't know if we're going to love it. But for me, I have to force myself to love this, right? And I don't think I will. I think I will enjoy this movie, and it was inevitable to buy the figures anyway, right? So I'm happy to add these despite some flaws here. Maybe I didn't need to pick up the battle damage. I probably, if going back, if I'm going to just get one of these figures, I go with the deluxe one, right? Because you do get crypto. I'd rather pay those few extra dollars to get a little bit more and then be happy with that in the display. At the end of the day, I think they're fair representations from what I know of the movie coming out and the likeness of the actor. So all in all, I'm pretty content with these figures and definitely looking forward to getting them on the shelf. That's the 2 cents, folks. I appreciate you checking out the video. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.